Hi, this is Daynamyte podcast, a knitting podcast. So, I am very excited about fiber and knitting, and so I wanted to make a podcast. And my podcast is called Daynamyte Podcast, Daynamyte. And my name is Dana. And I live in Washington State, and I've been married for about 34 years, and I've been a nurse for 24. I have a variety of animals. I have Tocho. This is Tocho. He's a little Jack Russell, and he's actually my daughter's dog. So he might be a figure on the videos as well. And I wanted to introduce you to all my animals, but we'll see how it goes one at a time. The very first thing I want to talk about, and I'm hopefully going to get this podcast through quickly, is my finished objects. And one of those is this poncho, which I bought. It's a purchase pattern from Church Mouse Yarns, and I gotta tip the camera down so you can see my little friend right here. That's my husband playing music, and my dog Coley. Such a good girl, Coley, aren't you? Such a good girl. What's that? Okay. Anyway, that's Coley, and she'll be appearing on the video from time to time. Also, I have horses, but that's a little bit hard to get on the video. Thank you, JT, for playing the intro. And let's see. Okay, so this is made out of Rowan Pure Life Revive. I'm gonna move this over just a little bit. Revive colorway, and I used my Haya needles, size 6, interchangeables, and they're the sharps. And this is called the Easy Folding Poncho, and it didn't have the picot edging, but I knitted here and I crocheted the edging here because I liked the way the red looked with the poncho. And this poncho drapes really, really nice. It's very silky because I think it's like 70% silk and 40, no, I think it's 40 silk, 40 viscose, 40 wool. I don't know. I'll have to look on my produce page because I think I have all of it there. Also, one of my finished objects is this, which are the socks 2 at a time. I used Mina's pattern, free pattern that she posted for socks 2 at a time, and I used the Viking Regan sock yarn. I think it's made in, I think it's actually made in Norway. But anyway, it made a really cool pattern. It is striped opposite. These socks are for my husband, not me. He has huge feet. And so the toes kept going on and on and on. I did a 1 by 1 ribbing for the cuff and the easy stretchy cast on, and then a 3 by 2 rib over the top of the foot, and I did the fish lips kiss heels on for the first time on both of the heels. That's a toe. It looks like a toe anyway. These are the heels, and I didn't do a contrasting heel and toe color. But I did. I was really excited to do these 2 at a time because, and here's an example, because this is the pattern I kind of sort of followed. I also followed, let's see, Melinda Goodfellow's classic socks. And the reason I wanted to do 2 at a time is because of this, as you can see, which is very old. The cat tried to get in it. That's why there's holes. But this is some yarn that I bought in Dayton, Washington, to make socks, and an afterthought heel. And this has been sitting for years. It's one sock sitting for years, languishing, because I had one sock syndrome. And that's why I did 2 at a time. So thank you very much, Mina. I love the way you started it on DPNs and then switched to your circulars. It worked perfect, because I had tried it before and it was so hard to start on the circulars. So anyway, there's that. And I also finished, let's see, the sock, oh, the shawl. So I'm going to show you the shawl. It is right there on the mannequin, and it is the Color Affection shawl, and it was made out of Cascade 220. And I also just want to show you my cat, because she's over there. Can you see her? Or actually, it's my daughter's cat. That's Smog. She is the dragon of the household, or the queen anyway. You probably can't see it too well because of the glare, but that's her. That's Smog. And then here you see all of my projects. I have my sock blockers. I have a beautiful bag that I just bought for projects, and I haven't filled it yet, so I'm excited about it. But it has Laurel Birch horses on it, and I actually bought it off of eBay, but and it was $13, I believe. Anyway, it was nice. And then this is going to be a pair of socks for me that I'm going to do 2 at a time, and I'm going to use Mina's pattern also. And I just love the socks that she had made with the Patton's Croy socks yarn, but and it looked like this, but it said FX, so I wasn't sure how that was any different. But anyway, I'm going to do these at some point. I'm really excited to show you the very project I started this past Saturday was to spin on a drop spindle. I have spun years ago on an old antique spinning wheel, but now it's just for decoration. And I just about 5 years ago started knitting again in my life because of stress, and knitting just was so perfect, and it helped me so much. And I watched podcasts, and I was trying to remember how to do knitting stitches, and I found Very Pink Knits with Stacy Perry, and she has excellent videos. And what really got me started was that I'm going to pause it right here for a second. Okay, I'm back. I forgot what I was getting, and anyway, but I did begin knitting after watching Stacy Perry's video on how to make a baby Fiona baby dress, the pink one, on verypink.com, and for some reason that dress just fell together, and I had never done half of the stitches that I learned so much. I did pleats, I did embroidery over the top, I did increases, decreases, cord for the straps, and it turned out perfect following her directions. And then I was hooked. But after that, for the next 2 years, I struggled and struggled and struggled. But I like this was my first garment, this poncho, and that was my first shawl, the Color Affection shawl, and those socks I showed you for my husband were my very first pair of completed socks, and and it's taken me a while. I mean, I've been knitting for the last 5 years, continental style, because my mom taught me to knit when I was like a teenager, and she taught me the throw method. And I thought, well, if I'm going to learn all these things over again as an old woman, um, I'm going to do it right. And continental is right. So my next project is going to be Stitched in Sweden's beautiful shawl. When I saw the shawl, I just knew I had to do it. And she had done it in a blue color. And I don't know what that yarn was exactly. But I thought that kind of steel gray blue was gorgeous. And so when I was at our local yarn store, Ceremonial Wool, which I've spent entirely too much money there, but I found this yarn, and it is Nunya, I think is what it's called. Nunya. It's from Peru, and it's extra fine merino wool and mulberry silk, but blended with bamboo source viscose. So it just feels so soft, and it's so shiny. And can't you just imagine that shawl with this? I mean, it should go with anything. And I don't know. I mean, the color is pretty true to what it looks like. It might be a little bit darker on video than it is in real life. It's sort of almost a blue jean color, and I just think it was so lovely. So what else can I tell you? And what have I forgotten? So my works in progress are well, I have a shawl, and I haven't told you about that. And this shawl, where is it? Oh, I forgot to bring it in. Is the Charbella shawl from Louette, and the yarn is also, I bought the yarn from Louette as well. It's sort of a pewter color. As you can tell, I like this sort of fawn pewter taupe kind of color. So, and I like purple. And so let me pause the video while I grab my next project. I'm back. I'm sorry, this is my very first podcast, so it's not very organized, and there's so much I want to talk about. This is my next shawl. It's called the Charbella, and it, oh, I should have brought the pattern in here. It's lace, like that, and it's my first attempt at lace, but it also has a lot of stockinette stitch and a little garter border. It's a gorgeous shawl. It's worked sideways, so this would be like that, I guess. And I love the Haya circulars, interchangeables. I love the sharps, the longer tip, and the fastness of the smooth metal. And I highly recommend the Haya. As you can see, when I bought my little project bag that I have here, the Haya, and this is the little doggy snips that Haya makes. They're so cute. And so, Stitched in Sweden, Mina the expat podcaster, and who else? Stacy Perry, Very Pink Knits. And today I also watched, I think her name is Gabrielle, and she was talking about her boyfriend's socks are so long too. and I just thought she was adorable. She has corgis, a bunch of Welsh corgis, and so it's fun to see those animals on the podcast. And so I just wanted to mention each one of those individuals. Um, I am doing the swap, the expat swap, and my swap partner is in Norway, and I have prepared a whole package of stuff for her, and I don't know if she'll watch it, but if she does, then she might get a little glimpse. I'll tease with a little box of something that you can't really tell what it is that I put in there. And she specifically asked for these because apparently they don't have little tins in of a good size in. And then here's a little tiny peek of some yarn, and that's all the peek that you get. She can show it if she wants to. So, and then let's see what else. Oh, I have to show you this bag. This project bag my mom wove and gave to me. She dyed the yarn and she wove the yarn on her big table loom, and she gave me this bag. So it's really cute, and I don't make it, but it has this little pocket here, and it has a little couple of pockets, a zip pocket on the inside that you can see. She's just excellent at making these, and I have my project here is this Shetland wool to spin, and I'm just learning that, and I'm really excited to learn the spinning process. So anyway, what else can I tell you? I'm on Ravelry as Daynamyte. I'm on Instagram as Daynamyte. I'm on Facebook and Etsy. My Etsy account is the Blue Heron Buffalo Ranch, and I have just a few little items on that. I have a few little things, little bunnies, and nothing much. I don't have much. I'm not like a volume producer, but I thought it would be fun to have an Etsy store, so I started that. And so if you want, you can go over there and learn a little bit more about me, and maybe you want to purchase something. Oh, thank you, husband. He's so wonderful. He's my wonderful, wonderful husband. Anyway, I thought these little knitted bunnies were adorable, so I made a whole bunch of these ones, and this is Patton's yarn as well, and then it's stuffed with whatever, and I just embroidered the little eyes. I mean, it's just, we have a whole bunch of bunnies at our place. We have 10-acre horse ranch, and on this 10-acre horse ranch, 90% of it is taken up with little wild bunnies, and so when you drive up the long driveway at night, all the bunnies are running around, hopping and jumping, and it's just crazy and really cute. And so we don't have a garden because the bunnies would eat it all. But we do have chickens, and we do have 2 ponies and 3 big horses, and at some point, I don't know if I can get them on the podcast, but I think it would be fun. I probably can. I can insert little videos sometimes. So I think I've about covered it all that I want to say on the very first podcast. So I hope you join and watch my podcast and subscribe. And I don't know how often I'll do it. It'll probably be starting out once a month, and then maybe twice a month. And I hope to this year get 12 podcasts done. So until next time, much love and wool. Bye.